So I'm just going to make a quick video on something I mentioned yesterday in my video. I said I would make a video about it today, and that is the big topic of what is going to happen with Justice Ginsburg's Supreme Court seat. Now, obviously, if you watch any form of the news, you've heard about this. You know what happened. The news broke last Friday night. I believe I was doing a video with Israel on Big Talk, Little Talk when it broke. But the big talking point, we've all heard it, is how hypocritical the Republicans are. And they are absolutely 100% being hypocritical right now. So I'm not going to focus too much on how they're being hypocritical, but to give a brief description, in 2016, and I've referenced this on the couple of times I've talked about it on David Spurrier's show and on Israel's show, Big Talk, Little Talk, I brought this up. 2015, 2016, the Republicans refused to give Obama's appointee for Justice Antonin Scalia's seat even so much as a hearing. They refused to give Merrick Garland a hearing at all, would not do it, and we've got people like Lindsey Graham saying that if a Republican president were to be elected in 2016 and there was a vacancy on the final year of that term going into the election, they would not do it then, so use Lindsey Graham's own words against him. Well, that very thing took place. Remember, he also said that Republicans were setting the new standard. Mitch McConnell will not do this lame duck thing going into the election. We should let the American people decide. And yet, that very thing has come upon us, and now the Republicans have done a complete 180 on the deal, and their logic and their reason is, well, this election could come down to having to be determined by the Supreme Court. So we need someone in the Supreme Court who could be a tiebreaker. Okay? First of all, you are assuming that if it came to the Supreme Court, there would be a tie. You're also assuming that it would even go to the Supreme Court. Now, I know people are going to say, well, it would have had no need to go to the Supreme Court in 2016 because that thing had already been brought before the Supreme Court. They'd already made a ruling on it, but there were people who were thinking, what if neither person reached 270, and at that point, I believe it's Congress or the Senate votes on it or something like that, right? But other people were speculating something along the lines of one person won the Electoral College, the other person won the popular vote, something along those lines. So something crazy like that, right? There was potential that the last election could have gone before the Supreme Court, right? Why? Because, well, for one, before we even got to the general election, we found out there had been rigging taking place. So what if Hillary Clinton had won the presidency? Is there not potential that something could have been brought before the Supreme Court on how legitimate it is, considering we had evidence of election rigging? Certainly, I could think of some cases where there could certainly be some claims filed against how legitimate that win could have been, considering if it hadn't have been for all these screwy factors, she might not have even won the primary. So if she wouldn't have naturally won the primary without election rigging, doesn't that call into question whether she should even be elected president? So you would have known possibly then there could have been something go before the Supreme Court. Obviously it didn't, but at the time, there's certainly possibilities here. So if there's possibilities, why did you not give that nomination at least a hearing just in case it was needed to be the tiebreaker in the Supreme Court? But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. So without a doubt, what you see going on right here is complete partisanship trying to take control of the Supreme Court. And I said this Friday night. I said it, I believe it was Saturday morning when I went on David's show. We are going to hear about Roe v. Wade now so much between now and Election Day. It is going to be talked about to absolutely no end, so you best get ready for that. Is there more than likely the chance Trump's going to run his judge through? Based on the track record Mitch McConnell's shown us when it comes to the judges, probably so. Who's it going to help? Some people are of the opinion that getting this judge through could certainly gin up the Trump base to certainly turn out more in droves for him. I don't know that I believe that. And the reason why is, let me tell you something. The Trump base is already pretty ginned up for Donald Trump. They don't like the idea of what's going on with the riots in the streets. They don't like the idea of all these peaceful protests, but sometimes fiery. They don't like the idea of mail-in voting. They don't like a lot of things they see. They certainly don't like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So they're already pretty ginned up as it is. Getting a justice through only a matter of days before the election, sure, they're going to feel like it needs to be done, but I don't know that that's going to really bring that many more people out to vote for Donald Trump, especially for those who were sitting on the fence and know what I just pointed out, which is you're being absolutely hypocritical here. Who it will possibly swing one way or the other are those who just can't quite decide, in my opinion at least, if they're going to vote for Joe Biden. I feel like that's going to actually swing them more to come out now and vote for Joe Biden if you run this thing through. Why? Because all the people who've been claiming it's vitally important to vote for Joe Biden because of Supreme Court picks, Supreme Court justices, they are going to be overwhelmingly more likely to say, yeah, we got to go vote for Joe Biden now because God forbid Trump get another 4 years and put even more people on the Supreme Court. If they can't stop Justice Ginsburg's seat from being filled by Trump, their asses are going to be on fire casting votes. They will be running to get those votes in. Sure, there will probably be people who say, I don't care, it's whatever, I will not vote for Joe Biden. You can count me among those folks, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden. But there's certainly going to be a lot of people out there who believe that the Supreme Court is that worthy enough that I would go vote for this massive mound of horse shit as opposed to take another 4 years of Donald Trump and risk more Donald Trump judges getting on the Supreme Court. Now, let me be honest. Do I think that a Joe Biden judge is going to be much better? Not in all honesty. Sure, we could split hairs and argue why they might be some ways better than a Trump-appointed judge or whatever. But it's certainly not going to be a neutral judge. It's certainly not going to be one who's just going to go by the Constitution and actually keep a check on the branches of government and the Democrats and Republicans. No. We're not going to put someone honest like that in the court. It's either going to be a left-leaning hack or a right-wing hack. Whatever. That's what you're going to get, regardless if it's Trump or Joe Biden. But guess what? They're both hacks to their own partisan politics. That's what they're going to be. So you can either get left-wing hack, who still doesn't do right by the people, or you get right-wing hack, which then could come after Roe v. Wade, blah, 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 blah. But left-wing hack could probably really come after Second Amendment rights, guns. Yeah, well, I'm not in favor of either one. So I don't want a hack getting on the court coming after rights. I want one there who's actually going to keep a check on the government like that court was intended to do. But of course, that's not going to happen. So again, I'm not going to try to demonize anyone who's going to go out there and vote for Joe Biden because of this. Just understand, in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be that much different. But for some people, yeah, it will be. Maybe they have a care about different issues than me. Look, we've all got things that matter to us more than others. So understand this for all the folks who think this is a good thing for Donald Trump to do. What do I know? I'm not a political analyst. I'm just a blue-collar guy who drinks blue-collar beer and a little bit of whiskey and bourbon every now and then, and rum. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just an old blue-collar guy, middle class, old poor people shit over here, okay? I'm not a political analyst, but from what I can see happening, this is going to fearmonger more people to go vote for Joe Biden. So, Donald Trump, you and the Republicans can be hypocritical at your own risk. The only way I would think this would make good sense to go against your own word is if you've kind of reached the conclusion it'll be a miracle if you win in November. See, that's the other thing that signals to me is that maybe the Republicans and Trump know they're probably not going to win. And if they are realizing that, then hell yeah, let's ram a Supreme Court justice pick through. Because even if we lose control of the Senate and the presidency and the Democrats keep control of the House, at least now we've got some real strong conservative hold in the Supreme Court, and maybe we could start smacking things down that the Democrats pass. That would be the only real rationale right now, to just go against your own word so blatantly. I think that writing could be on the wall. The Republicans could be in trouble in November, and they realize it. So they're willing to go against their own word because they're like, what the hell do we have to lose? We could all lose anyway, and then another Democrat get appointed to the court. So we'll go ahead and take this chance, and if we lose, we lose. But hey, we made our impact on our way out the door. We went down swinging. That's the only way this thing makes sense to me. But what are your thoughts on this? Because this is something that could really have a significant effect on our future going forward. So we'll see what happens.